Question for the chat from Lucian. Over under Bama gets 40 sacks this season.
I say over.
Here's the thing about it. This is what's going to dictate if they get to that point. What's the secondary going to look like?
Right.
Because if the coverage is good, then yes. But if a quarterback's allowed to get that ball out fast and there's not a lot of good press coverage, then it probably won't happen. But if that secondary does what it's supposed to do, then yes, it'll happen.
You got to understand something. Our defensive coordinator, he runs an attacking defense. So I believe we're going to get those 40 sacks. Because look at Auburn. Auburn, they looked good under him a couple of years, and they got a lot of sacks. So, yeah, I believe with our talent, we're going to get a lot of sacks.
Well, we should. But, again, it goes back to the coverage. Because here's the thing. If quarterback has time to get the ball out and the defense is coming out and they can start, doing check downs, throwing it to the slant. There's a lot of things a quarterback can do to prevent taking sacks. That's why I say it's going to solely depend on how well that secondary and those linebackers play when it comes time for coverage.
Not only do you have a defensive coordinator in Kevin Steele, but guess who was also a former DC that's on the staff right now? That would be Travaris Robinson, DC at South Carolina. He's now the full-on secondary coach. He is extremely good with defensive backs. This is his second year. In his first year last year, did some great stuff with Kool-Aid, did some great stuff with Terrion Arnold. And then you pull two guys from the portal and Trey Amos and Jalen Key. My thing is, if these two safeties that you pull out are some bad man safeties, then you're going to get the 40 sacks.
This is the way a defense goes. Like I said, the coverage is going to dictate whether or not we're getting the sacks. Now, once we get to a point to where that coverage is good and we're getting the sacks, after that quarterback gets hit so many times, he's going to be trying to get that ball out of his hand, and you're going to see him just start throwing it up. Once he starts throwing it up, then we'll see those guys' ball skills. That's when you start to accumulate turnovers. It's a natural progression. You can't have one without the other. You got to have all three in place to create turnovers.
Mm-hmm. And let's not forget about how greatly improved the defensive line is going to be as well. Kevin Steele can produce monsters up front. And look, we got Jaheim Otis and Justin Eboigbe is 100%. We got some dudes up front, and that's one of the things that we are lacking the past several seasons under Pete Golden.
We weren't lacking dudes. We were lacking strategy and skills of a real coordinator.